AI agents that can have conversations are pretty cool, but do you know what's even cooler? Yeah, agents that can do things. Functions are the magic that let that happen. Let me show you how to use them. So inside your Voiceflow project, we're going to add a function step to the canvas. So we're going to say dev, function, and drag it on. And then we're going to hit search community. From there, you'll see a bunch of integrations that you can connect to Voiceflow. Shopify, Zapier, Linear, Zendesk, and a whole lot more. For the sake of learning how functions work, we'll use a super simple function that does math. Just remember that functions can do way more powerful stuff, like add tickets to a customer support platform or get recommended products from an e-commerce platform. We can even see even more functions than are listed here by clicking this little icon here. Awesome. So let's search for our arithmetic function. We're going to come down here and we're going to search for arithmetic. Awesome. We'll click the function and we'll download it. And now we've got our function, we'll import it into our Voiceflow project. So if you use any of the functions in this list, you can skip this next step. But since we just downloaded a function from the marketplace, we need to import it into our project. We'll go back and we will choose functions. Then we'll choose this import button, browse, and we'll add the function and hit import. And there we go. We have a function that has been added to our workspace. So before we try it out, let me show you inside a function so you can kind of understand what's going on. So let's open it. And here we go. So there's a couple things you'll probably notice on this screen. First of all, we have the function editor. This contains a bunch of JavaScript, which we can run and test out. This is the code that is run whenever our function runs. Then we have some input variables. These are the inputs. So in this case, our function takes two numbers, and it takes an operation, such as add or subtract. There's also an output variable, results, which is the output of our function. And we have a single path in this case, success. But functions that connect to something like Zendesk might fail sometimes, so we might have a failure path or other paths as well. Finally, functions can have a description and an image attached from it as well. We have a bunch of functions on the marketplace like you just saw, but if you're a developer, you can also build your own functions. Click or tap right here to learn more about that. Alrighty, so now our function is imported into our project. Let's try using it on our canvas. So let's go back to our workflow. And we have now imported the function into a project. So we can click our function and we can select existing function and choose simple calculator. And these are the input variables, and these are the output variables that we just saw. So in this case, let's set it up so we take a input, like a number, and we add it to 10. Super simple example, but it's enough to kind of see how things work. So what we're going to do is we will add a message step, and we'll say, tell me a number. And then we can listen using a capture step for a number. So let's create a new entity. We'll call it number. And of course, since this is a number, the data type will also be number. Let's create that entity. So we're going to capture that number. Let's tune it on here. And then let's click here and set our input variable mapping. So I want to add 10 to whatever number we captured. So let's set the first number to 10 and the second number to this. Well, this is number, so we can do curly bracket and number. We've learned about variables already earlier in this series, but if you haven't seen this video, check it out here. And the operation is going to be add. Of course, you should check the documentation for a function if you're going to use it. And if you hover over, it will explain a little bit of help on what you should be providing in your input map. And then if we want to use our output, and in this case, that is, of course, the number that is added together. So if it was 10 and 1, it would be 11. We need to save it to a variable as well. So we can, for example, access it in a prompt step or a message step. So I'll create a new variable, and let's call it math result. And we'll give it a description. For best practice, we'll say the value of the two numbers added together. Then we'll hit create variable. And that's it. Like, for real. That's all there is to functions. That's what you need to know to also connect to Zendesk or Airtable or any of those other external services that support functions. Let me just show you. If I now go and add a message step, and I'm going to say the value is, and then I'll use that math result variable, connect it to my success path. And then again, remember, certain functions might have more than one path, for example, a success and a fail path. You can then go and map it out accordingly. But this just has a success path, so let's try out my agent. I'll connect the start step. Let's run it. I'm going to say, tell me a number. And of course, our agent isn't trained yet, so let's go train it real quick. There we go. And I'm going to say number 8. So there's my number, and it's going to do some math. It's going to call our function, and then we're going to see that the result is 18. Super simple example, but you might notice that there is 2 different outputs in this function. It didn't quite run as we expected to. We sent our message and it sent its own message. Let me show you why, but this is going to get a bit in the weeds. If you're non-technical, do not worry. You don't need to understand this to use functions. This is just for debugging. So let's go back to our function. Back, and we'll go back to functions, and we'll double click it and open it again. If we scroll down, you'll see that this outputs a trace, and the trace has a type of text. That means our function sends a message as well as returning data. Functions can do more than just return output variables and all of that fun stuff. They can also do things in your agent, like sending messages. So functions can be incredibly powerful. Let me show you another powerful example of functions. So this is our starter template for appointment scheduling. And if you're following along with the Voiceflow Basics series, this is the most complex example you've seen so far. You can access this template by creating a new project and choosing Scheduler. This project uses the cal.com API to book appointments via an AI agent. But requests to cal.com might fail. Even the time they're trying to book might be unavailable, or something just might go wrong. And let me show you how that works. We've got some logic in our agent. We check if there's available times. If it's successful, then we go and offer the times to the user. If there's no availability, we ask for another time. And if something goes wrong, we show an error message and try and help the user out. This is what makes AI agents so powerful. We can catch errors if something goes wrong, run logic if things go right, send variables in our request to our function, and so much more. And that's how you can add functions to your project. If you're a developer, you can write your own functions using JavaScript to do basically anything you'd like. Click here to learn how to get started. And as you build those more advanced projects, you might find your workflow gets a bit complex. So check out the next video in this series. I'll show you how to connect multiple workflows together.